Hello, it's Randi Rhodes. Here's a clip from our show, and go to randirhodes.com for the whole thing and a podcast. Buy a stinking podcast.
Mary had a little man.
The fall. We believe that all men are created equal.
To the magnificent mosaic that is America.
From radio beacon to radio beacon. I have a dream today. Change has come to America.
Believe me.
Knock, knock. Who's there?
It's a figment of your imagination.
Randi Rhodes Show.
Turn up your mind.
So my question is, are you concerned in the process of this? We did discover that a foreign national, Christopher Steele, was paid through Fusion GPS, used Russian sources that not only weren't verified, were debunked. Are you concerned that that was paid for to manipulate the American people in the lead up to an election?
Isn't that closer to the mandate than Michael Cohen?
Why isn't that? Where's Mueller on that, sir?
Having something to do with paying some Stormy Daniels woman $130,000. I mean, which is going to turn out to be perfectly legal. That money was not campaign money. Sorry, I'm giving you a fact now that you don't know. It's not campaign money. No campaign finance violation. So
they funneled it through the law firm.
Funneled through the law firm, and the president repaid it.
Oh, I didn't know he did. Yeah. There's no campaign finance law.
Zero.
So the president,
just like Sean.
So this decision was made by
everybody. Everybody was nervous about this from the very beginning. I wasn't. I knew how much money Donald Trump put into that campaign. I said 130,000. He's going to do a couple of checks for 130,000. When I heard Cohen's retainer of 35,000, when he was doing no work for the president.
Oh my God!
I said, but that's how he's repaying. That's how he's repaying it. Oh, with a little profit and a little margin for paying taxes for Michael.
The president, but do you know the president didn't know about this? I believe
he didn't know about the specifics of it, as far as I know. But he did know about the general arrangement that Michael would take care of things like this, like I take care of things like this for my clients. I don't burden them with every single thing that comes along. These are busy people.
You're an idiot.
Really? Rudy, you could have been the mayor of New York for life as far as, the speaking circuit. You could have made, written books. You could have, but no, you had to put on the MAGA hat, and now it's eating you alive. Well, there you have it, everybody. Last night, Donald Trump sent out his attack dog, who, by the way, let's not forget this, and I don't know why people just neglect to bring this up when they discuss the Giuliani. Giuliani has a live IG investigation. He's under investigation by the Inspector General of the Department of Justice, still to this minute, to this day, for intimating that he was talking to active FBI agents in the New York FBI who were livid, right? They were just, he can't even repeat the language that they used, about Hillary Clinton being found careless but not guilty of a crime. And the Inspector General is still, I'm waiting for this report. We're all waiting for this report. Everyone around here knows that there's a still a live report that's yet to be made public, that's still yet to be finished. But that said, he has now become Donald Trump's attack dog once again. And last night, Donald Trump's attack dog caught the car. He bit his own ass, is what happened there. What, Kanye wasn't available, Rudy? Well, welcome to the legal team, Emmett Flood. Enjoy your stay. We'll leave the light on for you in case you want to flee in the middle of the night from this, this circus, this clown car that is, Jay Sekulow and Rudy Giuliani. Now, I here's what we learned just in the last week. And it's only Thursday. We're not even done yet, okay? I think we have some shooting going on in a shopping mall somewhere in this country. Because it's Thursday, there has to be. But we've learned so far that Trump dictates his own health reports, right? And that if he decides he doesn't like you after 30 years, then he steals his medical records by sending his currently, he's not, but Keith Schiller was, at the time, Donald Trump's bodyguard. Alan Garton was Donald Trump's lawyer, and some unnamed big burly guy was sent out to Bornstein's office to steal back Donald Trump's medical records and even take the pictures off the walls under force. And what Donald Trump doesn't understand is those medical records aren't his. They're Bornstein's. That's why it's a robbery. But we found that out this week. And also we found out that Dr. Ronnie, who is completely unsuitable to be the VA secretary for just, never mind that he has no experience running a hospital, not even a little clinic, but because Mike Pence's wife reported him to John Kelly, saying that he was, interfering in her health care and he was violating her privacy rights, etc. And they told her, yeah, take it through the chain of command. That's this stand-up guy, Kelly, right? And allows President Trump to nominate Ronnie. And then, Ronnie has to pull his, his consideration. He's withdrawing from being considered and blah, blah, blah. And now, all of a sudden, we're just getting over the comedy that is Donald Trump's doctors and the whole crazy thuggery that is retrieving medical records through thuggery, through sending, Now, all of a sudden, Giuliani gets on the TV last night. And you know what you're missing if you didn't see the whole thing? You're missing the rest of it. The rest of it was so vile and so disgusting. Obviously, the reportage on the questions that were leaked goes something like this. The questions were written down on a phone call with Jay Sekulow, that brilliant, he's a First Amendment attorney. He's like a free religious, thinks there's a war on Christmas attorney. What does he know about criminal? What does he know about federal criminal? What does he know about states? Nothing. Okay. So Sekulow apparently was tasked with getting on the phone with Mueller and having a conversation about the direction of the interview that Trump needs to attend. And so Mueller was willing to show him that the scope was limited, meaning it didn't have to do with his businesses. This wasn't the money laundering portion anyway. This was the obstruction portion. This was the portion that had to do with Russia, interference, conspiracy, collusion, whatever you want to call it, RICO Act violations, Espionage Act violations by the Trump campaign, by the Trump transition, and the Trump administration. And so Mueller was nice enough to show him, what direction he was going in. Now, according to the reporting, Jay Sekulow wrote these questions down, but it doesn't say that Jay Sekulow leaked them. I still believe Rudy Giuliani leaked them and that Rudy Giuliani is posing as Trump's attack dog, even though he hasn't tried a case in 1,000 years either, Nosferatu. But the bloodsucker needs help from Donald Trump as well because he's under investigation by the IG, by the Inspector General at the Department of Justice for talking and getting leaks out to the press from active FBI agents during the campaign, saying there's an October surprise. We're not just going to lay down. I'm talking to some active and some retired FBI agents, but active agents also who obviously don't want to, they want to remain anonymous. They don't want their names out in the press, right? He's under investigation for that. And he's going to need help. So he is, he's concocting these stories for Donald Trump and going out on the TV and trying to sow doubt about a couple of things. One, that Comey's believable. The crap he said about my boyfriend last night. Oh, my God, this is a disgusting human being. This is a man who obviously lied on television about speaking to active FBI agents, which he confessed he was doing on the radio on Lars Larson's show, okay? And then when he was asked by Wolf Blitzer whether or not that was true, I haven't talked to any FBI agents in, 10 months. No, I haven't talked to any active FBI agents about this investigation at all, ever. His story keeps changing. He's not credible is the point here. So now Giuliani tries to float this trial balloon out there. He's trying to tell you, as if it were common knowledge all along, that Donald Trump paid Michael Cohen, reimbursed Michael Cohen for the $130,000 that Michael Cohen paid to get Stormy Daniels into a non-disclosure agreement situation that was only arbitratable, would never see the light of day in a court, no depositions, nothing public ever. And, of course, Trump has been denying as recently as April on Air Force One. This was just like not even 30 days ago when Trump denied that he had any idea about payments to Stormy Daniels. He wasn't aware of them. We need to talk to Michael Cohen. Michael Cohen is his attorney. Now, this makes no sense because, remember this, Michael Cohen is the person who breached the non-disclosure agreement in the first place. How? Michael Cohen told the Wall Street Journal in February, timelines are everything. In February, he told the New York Times that, yes, he paid Stormy Daniels $130,000, and no, he hasn't been reimbursed by Donald Trump. Now, Donald Trump was already president, okay, when Cohen was saying he wasn't reimbursed. That was February. March goes by. April, in March, Sarah is at the podium repeatedly being asked about this.
Did the president approve of the payment that was made in October of 2016 by his longtime lawyer and advisor, Michael Cohen?
Look, the president has addressed these directly and
no, he hasn't.
Made very well clear that none of these allegations are true. This case has already been won in arbitration.
What?
Anything beyond that, I would refer you to the president's outside counsel.
When did the president address specifically the cash payment that was made in October of 2016?
The president has denied the allegations against him. And again, this case has already been won in arbitration. Anything beyond that, I would refer you to outside counsel.
Did he know about that payment at the time, though?
I've addressed this as far as I can go.
But that payment, did he know about the payment at the time?
Not that I'm aware of. And again, anything beyond what I've already given you, I would refer you to the president's outside counsel. Steve?
Michael Cohen about that, since this has become a news story this week. Has he talked to Michael Cohen about it? If I can just ask one more thing.
I'm sorry?
Has he talked to Michael Cohen about that this week since this has become news?
I'm not sure.
You're not sure? Yeah, well, everybody else in the media was sure. He did talk to Michael Cohen subsequent to that. So in March, she's lying over and over and over again, Smokey Eye Sarah. She's lying and saying that the president was not aware. He's addressed this in full in public. The president never talked about Stormy Daniels, not once ever. He's terrified of Stormy Daniels and Robert Mueller. This is the crazy truth. And it's probably because these two issues that are open can bring down his presidency, because this man is a crook. He's a criminal. He's a money launderer. He's a colluder. He's a guy who he's a Manchurian candidate. He took help from a foreign adversary in exchange. He changed the Republican National Committee's platform to send a signal. He went on TV. He announced that he was going to have dirt because his son had met with Natalia Veselnitskaya at Trump Tower in June of 2016 and promised dirt. And 2 days later, the hacked emails go from the Russians to the possession of WikiLeaks, and then they start being released. You got Roger Stone tweeting that he knows Podesta is next in the barrel. I mean, obviously, there's communication between the Trump campaign and Russians who are government agents, Russians who are, what she call herself, an informant, Russians who are spy masters. Kislyak was recruiting spies within the United States. So anyway, that's what she said in March. So in February, Cohen says I wasn't reimbursed. In March, she makes this crazy statement about it's already been won in arbitration, which turned out to be completely false. And she said that the president has addressed it and no, he's not aware of the payments. All right. Then they asked Donald Trump in April on Air Force One. They're just shouting out a question. It's the press corps. You know, they're high on Provigil, right? They're high because Dr. Ronnie's going up and down the aisles and he's handing out, ambient sleep, and then he turns them on with Provigil, whatever. So somebody shouts out, were you aware of the $130,000 payment in April?
Did you know about the $130,000 payment to Stormy Daniels?
No. Then why did Michael Cohen make... Why did Michael Cohen make the allegation if there's no truth to it? You'll have to ask Michael Cohen. Michael Cohen's my attorney. You'll have to ask Michael Cohen. Do you know where he got the money to make that payment? No, I don't know. And Rudy Giuliani sits down last night and says, oh, well, the president took a loan from Michael Cohen of $130,000 to make the payment, and then he paid him back through $35,000 a month retainer payments to do no work. to hide the fact that it was a repayment to Stormy Daniels that Michael Cohen gave. And Rudy is sitting there saying it as if, that's all normal. And there's no campaign violation, no campaign finance. Listen, let me tell you something. They did not raid Michael Cohen's office for a campaign finance violation. That's number one. Number two, you can't loan a campaign money and then get it paid back once the guy gets elected, because everyone would do it if you could, right? Oh, there's more. Go to randyrhodes.com for the whole thing and a podcast. Buy a stinking podcast.